Hey everybody, Lewis here from Status Coup. Yesterday we were hearing reports that a missile landed in Poland amidst the ongoing war between Russia and Ukraine. Obviously this caused a lot of concern, panic, red flags. The initial reports were making it seem like this missile was from Russia that landed in Poland, which, as we'll get into in a second here, and we read an article, would risk us at invoking Article 5, essentially dragging NATO directly into this war. It's already pretty damn involved at this point, obviously, but more directly. Let's take a quick look at this article first, and we'll talk about it on the other side. Top NATO officials said a missile that crashed in Poland and killed 2 people was likely a Russian-made weapon fired by a Ukrainian air defense system, and that there was no evidence it was directed there intentionally. Quote, Ukraine defended itself, which is obvious and understandable, by firing missiles whose task was to knock down Russian missiles, Polish President said Wednesday. The Russian side, I'm just going to skip the name because I'm not going to look it up right now. Polish president said Wednesday. The Russian side is to blame for this tragic event. Russia unleashed one of the biggest barrages of the war on Tuesday, firing 96 missiles at Ukrainian cities after being forced to withdraw from the southern city of Kherson last week in a major blow for Moscow. A missile landed in a Polish village near the Ukrainian border, killing 2 farm workers and raising fears of wider conflagration. This is not Ukraine's fault, says North Atlantic Treaty Organization Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg. Russia bears ultimate responsibility. This is a direct result of the ongoing war, he added. Of course, Ukraine has the right to shoot down missiles targeting Ukrainian cities and infrastructure. NATO ambassadors held an emergency meeting in Brussels to discuss the missile incident and to coordinate the alliance's next moves. The incident also dominated a meeting of European Union ambassadors who unanimously agreed that, quote, Russia bears the responsibility for yesterday's tragedy for the death of 2 Polish citizens, said Poland's ambassador to the EU. Again, I just want to go over why this is such a big deal. Again, right now, this war is just between Ukraine and Russia. But again, Article 5 with NATO essentially means that one NATO country under attack and at war, if that country invokes Article 5, then all of NATO needs to get involved and is now at war with this country. The only time this has happened with NATO was with the United States invoking Article 5 after 9/11. This would be a very historic moment and would put us in a very peculiar position, being at war directly with Russia. And in my opinion, just escalating everything when it comes to being closer to potential nuclear war. This is a scenario that no one wants to be in. Again, the initial reports were that this missile came from Russia. Again, it seems like the missile was created by Russia at some point, but that this was actually a Ukrainian missile that was launched trying to shoot a Russian missile out of the sky. We heard in that article, 96 missiles were launched from Russia that day. So, likely what happened is Ukraine is shooting missiles up, trying to shoot down the Russian missiles. This one missed and ended up in Poland. What's kind of wild, and Colin, if you could pull up the map that I have here, this village in Poland is 4 miles into Poland from the Ukrainian border. I mean, if we're missing these targets and they're landing 4 miles over a border into another country, I mean, the margin for error on the Ukrainian side, but also more significantly on the Russian side. I mean, Russia's shooting 96 missiles in a day. Who knows if one of these missiles is going to go off and land somewhere else and actually cause this to happen again. The longer that this war continues to go on, the greater the chance of some sort of mistake or accidental escalation occurs, and the greater chance we are in a position where there's nuclear war. I mean, I don't think at this point Putin stands to benefit anything by, escalating this and getting NATO involved. But at the same token, I mean, we clearly see this guy is crazy and clearly a madman. I just don't see any scenario where this kind of ends nicely, right? This is certainly not being de-escalated so far. If in the last couple of days they're shooting nearly 100 missiles into Ukraine, at Ukrainian cities, at Ukrainian infrastructure. I mean, where does this end? I think at this point, we're just seeing further and further escalation. I don't know. Just to summarize all of this, the longer that this conflict goes on, the greater the chance of another potential mistake that maybe isn't sorted out so quickly, right? There was only a fairly small window of time where we thought this missile had gone directly from Russia into Poland, unfortunately killing 2 Polish citizens who were farmers just doing their regular job. The longer that this goes on, the more room for error. Whenever there's going to be an error, that's how we're going to end up in this, quote unquote World War III situation. Nobody wants it to go that way, but unfortunately, I don't see an end in sight to this. With that, definitely stay tuned for our live stream. If anything else happens with this situation, we will definitely be covering it there. You can watch that every day. You can follow me on Twitter at LewisD217. Thanks for watching Status Coup. Make sure you're subscribed, hit the bell for notifications, and consider supporting all of our reporting by becoming a member, statuscoup.com/join. Thanks for watching, everybody.